was 7 years old when I got my first pair. And I stepped outside and I was like, Mama, this air bubble right here is gonna make me fly. I hit that court, and when I jumped. I swear I got so high. I touched the net. Mom, I touched the net. This is the best day of my life. Air Maxes were next. That air bubble, that mesh, the box, the smell, the stuffing, the tread at school. I was so cool, I knew that I could increase them. My friends couldn't afford them. 4 stripes on their Adidas. On the court, I wasn't the best, but my kicks were like the pros. Yo, I stick out my tongue so everyone could see that logo. Nike Air Flight foot bag was so dope. And then my friend Carlos's brother got murdered for his 4s.
Whoa. It's clean. It's simple, and it's tantalizingly incomplete. What's missing? One thing. Pass the Heinz.
You mean the Heinz ketchup?
It's Heinz. It only means one thing.
You're going to be thinking of ketchup all day, and you didn't even see it. Thank you. We'll be in touch.
See, he just wanted his jump shot, but they wanted his starter cut, though. He didn't want to get caught. From Genesee Park to Othello, you could clown for those probings with the Velcro. Those were not tight. I was trying to fly without leaving the ground, because I wanted to be like Mike, right? Wanted to be him. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to touch the rim. I wanted to be cool, and I wanted to fit in. I wanted what he had. America, it begins.
Into November, with each contender seeking fertile ground to launch attacks on their opponent. Both campaigns and their affiliated outside groups have already poured millions of dollars into attack ads, a sign that the negativity will only ramp up as the election gets closer. And if we thought 2016 was nasty, buckle your seatbelts.
I stand before you today to declare the silent majority is stronger than ever before.
Because this politics is pulling us apart. It's ripping this country apart at the seams. Our politicians, our politics today, traffics in division. And our president is the divider in chief.
Oh, yeah! Five months from now, we're going to defeat Sleepy Joe Biden. Boy, does he get a pass from these people, huh? We're going to stop the radical left. We're going to build a future of safety and opportunity for Americans of every race, color, religion, and creed. Republicans are the party of liberty, equality, and justice for all.
Look, but he's not the only one. Far from it. He's just the worst practitioner of politics that singles out, scapegoats, and demonizes. He holds out the other as a source of all their problems. You hear it. The immigrant, the Muslim, anyone different in creed or color or conviction. They're the problem. That's what he says. That's been the scheme used by unscrupulous politicians for decades.
I wanna fly, can you take me far away? Give me a star to reach for, tell me what it takes, and I'll go so high, my feet won't touch the ground. Just hitch my wings and pull the strings. I got these dreams that all fly.
We want what we can't have. Commodity makes us want it. So expensive, damn. I just got to flaunt it, got to show 'em. So exclusive, this, that new shit. $100 for a pair of shoes. I would never hoop it. Look at me, I'm a cool kid. I'm an individual, yeah, but I'm part of a movement. My movement told me be a consumer, and I consumed it. They told me to just do it. I listened to what that swoosh said.
This watch tells time and takes phone calls. This watch tells time and turns on lights and opens up doors. This watch tells time and communicates with satellites 12,427 miles above the Earth. This watch tells time, among other things.
Tiger, I am more prone to be inquisitive, to promote discussion. I want to find out what your thinking was. I want to find out what your feelings are. And did you learn anything?
Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer, somebody who'd bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing, who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Had enough?
Let's go.
I'm not stopping.
I'm not stopping.
I'm not stopping.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you?
The reason I don't like the term anti-Greta is because it suggests that I myself am an indoctrinated puppet, I guess, for the other side.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth.
Climate change alarmism, at its very core, is a despicably anti-human
Look
ideology.
at what that snooze did. See it consume my thoughts. Are you stupid? Don't crease them. Just leave them in that box. Strangled by these laces. Laces, I can barely talk. That's my air bubble and I'm lost. If it pops, we are what we wear what we are. But see, I look inside the mirror and think film night tricked us all. Will I stand for change or stay in my box? These Nikes help me to find me, but I'm trying to take mine.
How is everyone? Welcome to your Persuasion project for the year. I know I just threw a lot at you in that intro, so let me walk you through some of it. The video begins with the definition of persuasion that you'll be using throughout this project. When the music comes in, we hear Wings by Macklemore. It's a song about how Nike created the Jordan brand and the appeal to have Jordan shoes became so strong that people died over them. Macklemore even claims that they wanted to start a cult. He writes about, and you can feel it in the music, how intense the passion was for these shoes and this brand. Then, as the song comes to a close, he is trying to break free of the bind that the Jordan marketing had on him. Woven in and out of the song and the song lyrics, I hope you are able to see how persuasion happens along a scale, right from restaurants to clothes to coffee and different brands, right up through politics and the political season that we're seeing right now. It is my hope that you start to see how the wheel of persuasion works in your own life and interests. Here is how this project will work for you. First, let's talk about learning objectives. Then we'll talk about the more practical goals, the things that, what does this project matter for my future? Academically, We want to integrate multiple sources of information presented in diverse formats and media. That means visually, quantitatively, orally, in order to make informed decisions and solve problems, evaluating the credibility and accuracy of each source and noting any discrepancies among the data. We also want to evaluate a speaker's point of view, reasoning, intended audience, and use of evidence and rhetoric, assessing the stance, premises, links among ideas, word choice, points of emphasis, and tone used. You, in this case, are going to be the speaker. Now, why does this class matter for your future? Well, for two reasons. One, if you've had my class before, you know that I talk a lot about persuasion being the most important purpose for writing. And it goes beyond that. It's more of a life skill. It's a personality trait. It's just something you exude. It comes across in who you are, and we want to practice that. If you can get someone on your side, or if you can sell a product or service, and you can do that effectively, you'll have a very successful career. Those skills transfer across many, if not all, careers that you might have. It doesn't matter if you are a salesman, a teacher, an accountant, any one of those, you got to be able to persuade people. And two, you'll be asked to use a variety of platforms. This is important because all of you are great at what I call kid technology. You're not all great at adult technology. Now, there are of course, exceptions to this, but my experience has taught me that while you're, seen as the technology-savvy generation, that's just not true. We'll practice that, and here's why. I, for example, have had 3 different teaching jobs. Here are all the different websites, platforms, or interfaces I've had to learn. Schoology, Infinite Campus, the Google Drive G Suite, Edmodo, Skyward, Google Classroom, Woofoo, yes, it was called Woofoo, Pear Deck, Padlet, Seesaw, Poll Everywhere, Mentimeter, Plickers, and GoGuardian. I think you get the point. In your career, to be successful, you are going to have to learn online programs that your company wants you to use. The more diverse platforms that you work with now, the better off you'll be. To that end, here is what I'm asking of you in this project. Essentially, you'll make a persuasion portfolio. You'll choose a topic to explore, one that is a bit of a divisive issue and one that you are passionate about. And when I say divisive issue, I mean there are some things that can get touchy topics. Maybe you choose something political, maybe you choose something not so political, but just something that has 2 sides to it. You'll experience it in many different ways. You might create a billboard, an infographic, a blog, a podcast. You might conduct interviews with experts, ideally like actual interviews, not just some phony made up one. You might write a research paper. In fact, I just listed 6 options for content. You'll need to choose 4 of them and put them in your portfolio. Now, for units. I'm not going to put a cap on the units that you can earn for this project. I'll give you a baseline of 30, but I'm not opposed to someone earning a lot more than that if their work is done well. And the reason that I'm willing to offer a lot more than that is because, while you've seen our learning objectives, right? And units are based on learning objectives. But at the same time, there's writing involved here. There's reading involved here. So while this is really a media literacy project, all of the things that I need to teach you come across in this project. So like I said, I'm not opposed to someone earning a lot more than that if their work is done well. Upon committing to this assignment, you will receive and will go over a rubric for the expectations. This is going to be quite involved, but careers are literally made out of this stuff. Create a brand and build it. Who's to say there isn't a space for you on the web? So maybe you have a fresh perspective of an old idea. The future of Generation Z, for example. You, Generation Z, and me, a millennial, we've taken a lot of flack from older generations for ruining things, for being lazy, for all these other things, right? So in that sense, you and I are in the same boat. We're in this together. Maybe you've got some intel. You know something about Generation Z. You've got an opinion as to why they are going to be the most successful generation, in years, and you want to tell us about that. Persuade us about that. That's awesome. Maybe you have a strong opinion about a current topic, distance learning, for example, that works, didn't work, does work, will work, could work. It's your job to persuade us of your opinions within that. Maybe you want to drive some sort of social change. This product or this project has few bounds. It can go in a lot of different directions. It's sort of up to you. And so now I'd like you to take the rest of today and just kind of ponder, what might you want to create your persuasion portfolio about?